welcome back to my channel. I am ready to talk about last night's episode. It was so crazy. I am still shocked and I cannot wait for tonight. I am ready for all of this to be behind us and we can move forward. It's just been a crazy ride this season. So let's dive right into it. What was the big problem of last night? What do you think was the big problem last night? Oh yeah, Peter's mom. That lady, what happened? I have been such a huge fan of her for so long, and I don't know what happened last night, but I do not feel the same way about her as I once did before. I was just not okay with her manipulating her son. It's literally just, it was so weird to watch because you should never talk to your son like that. I do think that you should express your opinions. That's very valid. I think that if you don't like someone and you don't think that that person fits into their lifestyle, then for sure, tell them. But the way that she was crying and manipulating him to pick one person over the other and involving God in it, I thought that was too far. I thought it was kind of strange that she was kind of like not liking the fact that Maddie didn't sleep with him. I mean, I know she didn't mean it that way, but the way that she came across, it sounded that way. And it made me very uncomfortable because of just the way that she was talking to her. You could tell right off the bat that she was getting along super well with Hannah Ann, literally the moment that she walked in. So I don't know if that's because she just sees herself in Hannah Ann, so she feels like, she wants her son to be with someone that's exactly like her. That could be it. And that's understandable. But for her to manipulate the way that she did, I was not okay with that. I felt really, like I said, uncomfortable. And I just didn't like that. And I really do believe, and you guys can disagree with me, of course, but I feel like Hannah Ann is really easy to manipulate. So I think that the mother wanted her because I think in the future she can see that she can manipulate her easily. But I think she doesn't like Madison because Madison stands her ground and it is what it is. And I don't think that the mother liked that very much. And I could feel like a little bit of just, it looked like they're not going to get along, if that makes any sense. So I think that the mother was just doing it based off of her own selfish reasons. I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with what Peter wants, if that makes sense. And another weird thing was, too, that she kept telling Maddie, I don't want my son to change. I want him to continue, going line dancing and, going to clubs if he wants to and that lifestyle. What I didn't understand is that's all good and fine, but Peter is getting much older, and time is passing, and I'm sure he's looking for a wife. You know what I mean? That's why he's on the show. I don't think he's just looking for, a good time. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a bad thing that he does want to change certain things to be with Madison. I don't think that's a terrible thing if he doesn't want to go line dancing that much anymore and kind of doesn't want to go clubbing anymore. I think that all of us, when we hit our 30s or around there, we should start settling down or winding down, So I thought that was just super weird. I do think that the brother asked valid questions, but at the same time, it goes back to what I just said. I think we all need to grow up. I think that change is inevitable. Of course, you can't change who you really, really are and your standards and your morals. I understand that. But I feel like when you're with the right person, you do want to change for the better. And I don't think that's a bad thing, not at all, So that's how I feel about that whole situation. And again, if you guys don't agree with that, just tell me in the comments below and we'll talk about it. No problem. But I just felt like Peter's mom was extremely manipulative with the crying. And I think that we're going to see that tonight again. I think she is going to be crying again because things are not going to go her way, which is extremely selfish. I will add again. That is not right. You should be looking out for your son's happiness. Not that way. So that was just not okay with me. But moving on to the next big topic issue of last night, And it's been going on for, what, a couple weeks now, ever since Madison told him that she was waiting until she was married. So, I have a lot of thoughts on this, and I feel like I personally relate to Madison very much, and I will explain that in a little bit. But first, I just want to say that Madison is standing up for her beliefs and her standards and what she believes in, and that's fine. You know, I think that's great. Like, I don't think anyone should compromise any of that. I think you should always be true to yourself and what you believe and your standards and all of those things. So I do believe that if Peter wouldn't have slept with the two other girls, I think that him and Madison would be it would be an easy ending. Like, I feel like he would have proposed. It just would have been an easy ending. Kind of like we saw in Colton's season, where he just knew it was Cassie. There was some trouble. There was obviously the fence jumping and whatever, but he chased after her, and they're still together to this day. So I do think that had he done things a little differently, I think that the outcome would have been very different. And a lot of people on Twitter are saying, oh my goodness, why did Madison even go on the show? She knows how the show works. Excuse me, people. But again, Sean Lowe, Colton, and I can't remember who else, but there were other bachelors in the past that did not sleep with every person in the fantasy suite. They waited and they, Sean got married and Colton's still with his girlfriend. So I think that if you're truly in love and you know that you're in love, you would make that decision, not just for whatever, but just for your own, because you love this person so much. You know what I mean? And so I feel like Peter was just being a guy, and he was like, well, I think that Victoria's really, really, really good looking, and Hannah's really, really good looking, and I want to sleep with both of them. And he was just, like Madison said last night, he was being very selfish in the moment. I know it's his show. I know it's part of the show. But if he truly was in love with Madison, he wouldn't have done that. And so now I'm going to go into my little personal story a little bit. So me personally, and I have not said this on any public place, but here we go. I personally, when I started dating my fiance, so when we were just getting to know each other, I did tell him right off the bat that I was a virgin. I was not afraid to tell him that whatsoever. But however, I was afraid to tell him that I was waiting until I was married. I withheld that information for a couple of weeks, and this is a true story, and you can ask him. I did not want to tell him because I felt like we were just getting to know each other. We were just falling in love, and I felt like that information didn't matter at the moment because that wasn't part of our relationship anyways. We were literally just getting to know each other, knowing, is this my person? Is this not my person? So it took a lot of back and forth and just seeing if this person is compatible with me. So I feel like I understand Madison because I felt like I was in her shoes, because it is hard to tell someone that you love so much that you are waiting until marriage, because waiting until marriage is a huge, huge commitment, and it's very, very hard to do. And I honestly do not know how I've made it this far. The Lord has helped me, but it is a very difficult choice to make all the way to the end. And so I was super terrified to tell Roger that. I was just so scared that he was just gonna not like me anymore, or just be like, oh, listen, I don't think I can do that. I don't love you enough to do that. Or I don't know what the case was, but I remember in the past when I did tell people that, they were like, ooh, that's a red flag for me. Like, I need to make sure, I sleep with you before I ever propose, before I ever get married. So I was super worried about that. And it was my decision, and I think that's what people are misinterpreting with Madison. I don't think she's manipulating him at all. She is saying, listen, this is my standards, this is my belief. Way before I met you, way before I fell in love with you, this has been my decision. And that's exactly what I did. I made this decision years ago. I'm continuing all the way to the end. I get married in 4 months. Thank you, Jesus Lord. It's been such a long journey, but it is possible. And if you're with a person that loves you and respects you, like my fiance, it's going to be fine. It's going to be okay because he's going to respect your decision, your decision, and it's going to be okay. So as far as Peter and Madison, I do think that if he really loves her, he will change certain parts of his lifestyle. And hey, what's so bad about knowing Jesus? I'm all about it, let me tell you. So I do think that lifestyles do change. I don't think we're meant to be line dancing and clubbing until we're 50 years old. I don't think so, at least. Unless you really love that, then that's your life. But I think that we all grew up. We want to have kids. We want to have lives. And I just feel like it was so strange to me, just the manipulation on the mother's part. I feel like you should always want the best for your son and not be so selfish. She was just being so selfish, and I feel like she was just only thinking about herself in a way. So that's how I feel about that whole episode, and that's how I feel about the Madison situation. I do believe, yes, she knows what she signed up for, but she also thought, if he loves me enough, he will not sleep with other people. And I understand that, and I literally feel how she feels. Like, I'm going through it. I understand. So, yeah, that's how I feel about this episode. It was so crazy, and as a mother, like, okay, let's say Peter's with Madison right now. Let's just say that they're together, right? Because we all know he loves her more. Let's say they're together. How do you move past this? Because the mother publicly basically said that she doesn't think it's a good fit for her son. So how do you move past this? Because it's the woman you love most is your mother, and then the woman that you're going to marry, it's so crazy. Like, how do, as a mother-in-law and a daughter, how do they move past this? I don't know. If you guys think that they can move past this, let me know. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit of a rough road. I think tonight my predictions are that he will be with Madison. I think he's going to propose tonight on live TV. That's why they keep saying, oh my goodness, we don't even know. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I think that they are for sure together, but I don't think that they're engaged. And I think he's going to propose tonight. And that's the part where we don't know what's next. We don't know if she'll say yes, and we don't know if she'll say no. But that's my predictions, but we'll see what happens tonight. Guys, thank you so much for watching this long video. I did not mean it to be so long, but thank you for watching this recap. If you like this video at all, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button, because I will be doing lots of reviews on future Bachelor related things. So I'm really excited. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Goodbye.